Mookie strikes again. Welcome to the show.
And welcome back to another episode of the AstrosFuture podcast here on the Believe Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Price, also known as AstrosFuture. You can find my work at AstrosFuture.com and find me on X at AstrosFuture.
And I'm your co-host, Kenny Van Doren. You can also find me on X at the Vandalorian.
Today we're joined by Astros pitching prospect Colton Gordon. How you doing, Colton?
Good to be here, guys.
Appreciate you joining us. I know it was a long day with the travel, but you're coming off what is your best start of the season, 7 scoreless innings in your last outing, through 8 strikeouts. What was working so well for you in that outing?
Yeah, I'd say just strike one. The simple things were working really well. Building off the past couple of weeks, it was a great first month of the season. Great spring training. I'd say just the execution factor, along with having my pitches just the best they can be at the time that day, working as well. And the combination of the two allowed it to be a great day on Saturday.
Recently, too, I mean, the walks have gone down, strikeouts gone up. I mean, one of your best strikeout performances, 2 of the year. And we know like that arsenal's deep. You've been, adding stuff over the last couple of years. I mean, what is it kind of looking like right now? And what have you just really relied on over these last couple starts?
Yeah, I'd say the past year has been pretty consistent from a repertoire standpoint. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, 2-seam cutter along with that. So like you said, pretty deep. Pitch selection, I'd say over the past month has been huge. Just continuing to, why am I throwing a certain pitch? Am I throwing it at the right time? Our coaching staff, obviously the guys behind the scenes, do a great job of giving us, game plans and datas and different data points to just look at, best ways to attack different hitters. And I think, everything's a work in progress, a constant state of getting better. And this past week was just a really good week of a culmination of a couple things coming together.
So coming, off your second big league training, what has stuck with you from being with those guys? And did you feel more prepared going into the season since, you weren't dealing with an injury like you were at the beginning of last year?
Yeah, absolutely. Second spring training with those guys was really, really similar to the first. Obviously, couple different faces that I've known in the minor leagues that were with me there this year. I'd say being healthy is huge. Being able to go test out, what you got. It's just throwing it on the field. Hey, this is my best stuff today against your best stuff. Where do I stand? That's huge. I think the opportunity I have to just throw in front of the big league coaching staff. I mean, that matters. Look, obviously, everyone's aware in the Astros org of, different players or what everyone's looking at. But for me to be able to go pitch, do what I want to do in front of them was also really good. And experience for me too, just, communicating with guys, asking questions, different outlooks, ways to get better. Just a great experience. And then obviously, because of that experience, it helps you kind of hit the ground running when the season starts. And so it's first, being healthy is everything, first of all. So it was a good start to the year with camp.
So, looking at the Astros have been known for a while to really do well developing pitchers in the minor leagues, and seeing guys have success that you've pitched with, in the minors, a Hunter Brown, Spencer Arrighetti, Logan Van Wyatt, now Forrest Whitley getting the opportunity. What does that kind of do to reinforce, like, man, I'm right there, and the Astros are doing right because they're funneling guys through the system and constantly getting contributions from the minor leagues?
Yeah, I'd say stay present. I mean, I think that's the constant battle, right? Like, obviously, we all want to be in the big leagues. So cool, first of all, like you said, so many friends from last year's team. Like, when we won it all last year, throughout the end of the year, we were talking about, man, the better we all do, the better it'll be individually for us going forward. And it's so cool that that's true. Look, we came together, we won a national championship in AAA, and to see some of the guys already in the big leagues, obviously, that's my goal. I know being patient, allowing that to happen is part of it, and I'm just so happy for them. I mean, look, they're better guys off the field, which is the best part. We have so much fun. Even on a long travel day like today, where we got a flight delay. Guys are playing cards, so on and so forth. So we just have fun with each other, man. It's a good group.
I want to go back to spring training just for 1 second. A little bit different, I mean, invite than last year. You're on the 40-man roster. You're the only guy added to the 40-man roster during the offseason. Can you walk us through that, just that phone call, getting that opportunity where they felt like they needed to protect you because they felt like other teams might take you in the Rule 5 draft?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect. I obviously aware of it, right? Like I think me saying I want to be aware is just not not accurate. Obviously, you want to get protected. I thought there's a chance. I felt really good about it. I felt if they didn't protect me, I thought for sure another team would pick me up. Like I said, I love the group of people here. I love the coaching staff. I didn't want to go anywhere. I knew that wasn't up to me, and sometimes you have to understand, some things in ball and anything is just out of your control. And so I try to do my best to just controlling what I can. And so leading up to it, I wasn't too sure, honestly. But when it happened, I was ecstatic, talked to friends, and just super thankful by them. And look, I want to make an impact. Hopefully that means whenever they need me, I'm ready to go, and I help those guys out whenever that comes.
A couple times over the last few years, Dana Brown has name dropped you in press conferences and things. And how do you keep yourself grounded in those instances? While also appreciating the recognition from the general manager of the team and knowing that you're just one stop, before the show.
Yeah, it's a balance. It's a constant balance because you want to be there. You're itching to get there. You're thinking about it, but at the same time, you know, it's week by week here. I have to take care of one, throwing well, but two, getting better, knowing that when that time comes, uh, my preparation and my work to allow that moment to happen is going to shine in that moment. So just be present, man. I know I keep saying it and it's simple, but you're appreciative. It's obviously the goal to get there and to do that. You got to get recognized in different ways, but um, just keeping the foot on the gas. It's until it happens, it hasn't happened, and so that's as simple as that.
We had Ryan Gusto on here recently, I think last year, and one of the things that he brought up was kind of like that competition a lot of you guys had, just going back to even like 2023 and then 2024, just from Corpus and then into Sugarland. Can you kind of just speak to
Yeah.
that competition with those guys, with Gusto, Henley, Blue Ball, like everyone, Rhett Koba?
Yeah, it's like I said, first of all, it's probably since our 2021 draft class, to take it back a little farther, got super close from the jump. I don't know if that happens to every draft class or if we just were all put right next to each other in the hotel and decided to go eat or became good friends. Whatever it was, like from then on, like this group of guys, we always would hang out, and it was a big group. It's not like solidified to a couple of guys, and Gus was in a bunch of names you just threw. Logan Van Wy was in there. A couple of guys still in Double A were there. A couple of guys that have since moved on from the Astros. And I'd say the collective goal was we all wanted to be in the big leagues, and instead of taking away from everybody, we really all added on. Like, hey, like for example, Gusto and me and Blue Ball last year was like, bro, you have a great outing this week, 100%. You go dominate, but I'm gonna go dominate just like that. Like we're gonna build off of that, and it makes it easier because look, when you got someone setting the standard next to you every week, that's like, damn, that's pretty good. You you want to achieve the same amount of greatness as that, if not more. And so it creates a drive, a standard, and a want to win and dominate every time you're out there.
Yeah, watching a lot of minor league baseball, a lot of Astros minor league baseball. I'm not sure I saw a pitching staff do what Sugarland did, last year with, like you mentioned, with you and Gusto and Blue Ball, and then the bullpen too, what they did, and obviously fireworks all over, all offensively
Yeah.
and pitching. But the pitching, and we talked with a couple of guys too, and I think we talked with Mickey Story after the championship too, and just talking about how awesome it was. Like it didn't matter who he threw out there in the pen. The starters would go 6-7 innings. And then he would bring in the pen and just shut it down, and it was a dominant team.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. I mean, I can sit here and mention everybody from that team, and it's a special group. That doesn't always happen, right? You don't always get guys top to bottom that just dominate at the same time. I mean, it's baseball, it's life. Things are up and down. We play 162 games, 150 something here. But for the way it clicked, and looking back on it now, a year later, it's like almost surreal. It was like, dude, like you said, anyone you threw out there was to dominate that day. And we talked. I mean, we had talked about it in the clubhouse, just like, we're really good. Like, let's just acknowledge that. If we're gonna be really good, then like we're going to do that day in and day out because that's just a group of guys we had. And like you're seeing it in the big leagues, like with Logan and Gusto and, Contreras, who's been up and down already. I mean, Ort's back up there, Whitley, like all those guys were in here a ton, even Lance rehabbing this year or JV last year, just some of the veteran guys coming in and being open to share their mind and talk about, getting up there or what's going on and getting better. And it's just been a really, really good group overall.
A lot of people don't know that last year's championship with Mickey Story wasn't actually your first championship with Mickey Story. You guys won one together in the
Yeah.
Arizona Fall League. Can you kind of just speak to like that, competitive nature from him, where we talk to guys like, oh, it's, all about developing in the minors, but, winning goes a long way, like you've been talking about. And then what was like your favorite memory, if you still have them, from being in that like champagne shower in the locker room after the PCL championship?
Yeah. I'd say, I mean, look, part of being in the minors is development, right? I'd say no doubt, but quickly, as we get to where we're at now, and especially where I'm at in my career, right? I'm 26. I gotta keep developing, right? Everyone's constantly trying to get better at whatever they're doing, whether it's baseball or not, every day. But the bottom line is, part of baseball, part of development is winning. Like I don't show up every day to lose. Like no, I don't think anyone's trying to do that. So if I'm gonna put an effort in to make something happen, like let's go make it happen. And then that transcends, right, when you make it to the big leagues. We're definitely not showing up at Dayton every day like, hope we win tonight. Like, it's like, hey, there's an expectation, we got to win. And so I think it's made it transition easier on guys as well. Like, man, it's not, oh, we're gonna do whatever we can to be better, but whatever, at the end of the day, it's not, we're gonna do whatever we can to do better and win. And then you know, taking that to here in Constellation or in Dayton when that time comes. But my best memory, I'd say, going off of that last year, was, I'd say, the surreal moment at the end of there's just a feeling that like you get when you talk about something for so long. I mean, we were talking about this, winning this since like the All-Star break, maybe right before it. If you combine that with, we're trying to win 100 games and we're constantly just every day like, all right, today's another day, today's another day. And then when you win the last game and you're sitting there, right, and you're about to pop open a champagne bottle and listen to Mickey give his little post-game toast or speech, it was like, damn, man, we did it. And the feeling of accomplishment in like a moment like that with a group of guys who, sure, no one wants to be in AAA. Let's get that straight. Like, everyone's goal is to be in the big leagues, but everyone put that aside. Every day they came in and said, whatever it is, and did it. It's a crazy feeling. That's a really, probably the best memory I have, is remembering what that felt like.
Yeah, definitely. I do want to go back a little bit, little ways for people that don't know, but you were drafted. You had Tommy John surgery. Right. Yeah, if I remember right, it was either right after or right before the draft. Maybe it was right after, but you didn't pitch until 2022. And so kind of just now that you've made it up to AAA, you won the PCL championship, you won the AAA championship, and kind of that route through the minors. But just kind of what have you learned about yourself? Going through that and then facing that adversity early on in your minor league career.
Yeah, I'd say, man, I've faced tons of adversity in my career, from transferring schools to Tommy John, and I'd say I've learned a lot about myself through every one of those experiences, and they're all different, and I needed them all without a doubt. But I'd say, just like throughout the minors, the growth of myself, on and off the field, the understanding of what it takes, for me to be a great pitcher. And part of that is winning. Like, I've always known that. I've always been a guy to want to win, understand winning. But I mean, that's just, that's every time I take the ball on the mound, I think it's an understanding from everyone around me in the clubhouse, anyone, that like, we're gonna win today, period. Like, we're making that happen. And however that may look today. Hopefully it looks way better than other days, but we're going to find a way. At the end of the day, a W's on the scoreboard, and that's all that matters. And I think I've learned that, how to do that. Knowing that's one thing, learning how to do that, how to navigate games, how to pitch, how to compete in different moments, and what that looks like, I think has been a huge development part since I've been with the Astros. But I'd say the winning factor too, just the whole time, my whole career.
Definitely. We'll transition to kind of some fun questions, and one we like to ask, especially pitchers that we bring on here. But who's the toughest batter that you faced in the Astros organization? And then if you had another opponent that you faced, maybe in AAA, but if there's someone that maybe even spring training, or just in some other sessions, who's one of the toughest hitters you
I'll,
faced?
I'll throw out a good one because I mean I've so many spring trainings now. But when I was coming back from TJ, I did get my surgery right before the draft. I know you just mentioned that. And when I was coming back, my first live AB was off of Jake Myers, and I just remember that live AB being like, okay, this is great. Like the first AB off of TJ, it's a big leaguer. He's rehabbing after I forget what was going on with him exactly, but I was like, this is instant feedback. Like this, first of all, great guy on top of everything else. So I'd already communicated, talked to him, but to get the feedback of what he saw, and also for me, just the fact that, hey man, like at the end of the day, that's a big leader. I'm a guy that just got here in 21, right? That's where I want to be. That was a fun one. That was cool, and I got
Yeah,
to do that a couple times there as I got back.
Yeah, I think we've had Jake Myers mentioned a couple times, if I remember right. So
Another fun one too, Cole. I actually, I'll be honest, I wrote this question down like I think 2 years ago during the 2023 season. We thought we'd have you on, but there was a photo that kind of circulated on Twitter for a little bit when you, Rhett Koba, and Spencer Arrighetti were all dominating at AAA, and people are saying that you guys are going to be Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, and John Smoltz. I mean, did you ever see that photo? And I mean, just hearing it now, I mean, what does that just kind of mean to you guys and just to you?
I did it. What's that? Oh, sorry, one second. I'm sorry. I'm still sitting here in the park.
no problem.
Sorry, I'm sitting here in the parking lot. We all our stuff is still coming in. I grabbed it all. There was one bag they were making sure I needed in my locker. Yeah, hilarious, crazy. At the same time, we all probably the best part is we all believe it. Look, you're seeing what Spencer's doing there right now. Crazy freak thing that happened, which is uh, annoying, frustrating on our end because we're friends with them. We hate to see shit like that or stuff like that. I'm sorry, I should say. But we thought it was funny, one, but two are sitting there like, man, like let's do it. And maybe that's the funnier part on our end, but we believe it. And I think that's the best part about the Astros maybe as a whole is they instill this belief that, hey, if you go do kind of what we're setting out, this plan for you to do, and you buy in, and you execute, which is the whole other side of that, great things can happen. And I think they got a bunch of good arms, like Spence, like Rhett, like myself, way beyond ourselves, bullpen that hopefully will help the Astros for years to come coming up.
So growing up, did you play any other sports besides baseball? I know you're listed at 6'4". I don't know if you're throwing it down on the basketball court or not.
I played a little ball. My junior year, it was like, okay, because basketball, I was in Florida, so basketball and baseball would overlap, and I always missed the front part of the baseball season for high school. And so my junior year, I was like, all right, baseball only. But I love basketball. Played a couple years of football. That was not it for me. I had a blast, but not it. And other than that, man, just a lot of baseball, some track, some run, a lot of running in there. But baseball. It's always been ball.
I think a lot of people don't know that you started your baseball college career at Florida. I actually wrote this question before Florida won the national championship in basketball. But when it comes to college athletics, I mean, which school do you claim, and is it kind of just when either school's better?
That's tough, man. I claim UCF. Look, I left UCF. I graduated from there. They really helped me tremendously. But to say I don't root for I root for the Gators, man. I had so many people there. I'm grabbing a charger right here so my phone doesn't die. But so many people there. Helped me off the field tremendously, through academics, through tutor sessions, coaching staff is still there, and actually the couple people that was involved with like the equipment staff and training staff of the baseball team when I was there is with the basketball team now, and so they just won, and so that was when stuff like that happens. I'm always rooting for them, man. It's pretty cool because the guys behind the scenes who everyone don't see get to get a ring and be a part of it, and that's always cool.
So you got an opportunity to pitch in the World Baseball Classic, last time. Are you looking forward to it again, and are you going to be participating in it again?
Absolutely. Look, I plan to totally be there. I had a blast. That experience is one of the kind, and I couldn't miss it. I couldn't miss it. I told him then. I told him literally. I remember I was so frustrated with my outing. Obviously, you want it to go amazing. It was a really big moment for me. I came in the locker room that day, and I was like, I'll be back in like 2 years. Period. I don't care what's going on, just because it's an unbelievable feeling. I mean, you're representing your nation, where you're from. For me, like my Jewish heritage, family members, and not only that. I mean, the baseball scene's insane. I mean, obviously, I'm pitching a World Series yet, but I mean, it's a packed house, and everyone's into it like no other that I've ever seen.
Before I get to my last question, I think I've asked you about this before, just in person, but I did go to high school with Josh Wolf. We're in the same graduating class now with the Giants now. I mean, do you remember any good moments with him? I know he's kind of a funny guy.
Yeah, he's just funny, man. Just funny. I think it's all so fast. Like I remember meeting everybody and having like a little couple jabs here, fun, and next thing you know, it's like it's over in 2 weeks. And so
Mm-hmm.
we had a blast. I look forward to seeing him again. But man, just funny jokes. The good team willing to come in and just take a little stab here, joke back and forth.
Most definitely. Last one here. I've asked you this one before, but I still want to see if it's still right above it. Is that still your walkout song?
Yeah, so it's still gonna be it for a while. I think it's my walkout song. I think for maybe ever. We'll see.
Okay. Are you excited about the new album?
Yeah, Lil Wayne. Yeah, man. Always.
So that's still a real popular one. I saw like the NFL draft walkout songs, and that was on the list as well. But so this is completely random. But as me and Kenny were talking earlier, I just kind of thought about it, and it seems like it's going all over social media right now, where people are debating, can 100 men take down a gorilla? I don't know if you've seen that or not. But what's your take on that? 100 unarmed men, can they take down a gorilla?
I got no chance. 100 unarmed, man. I mean, I feel like we should be able to do that. I feel like we should be able to. But I mean, a gorilla is like. I mean, that's a beast, man. I don't know. I forget who said that the other day in the clubhouse, but someone walked in and said that, and I was like, "Bro, what?" And he's like, "No, it's going around. Like this is like a thing. Like everyone's asking this." I was like, "That's the most unique thing I've ever heard." But all right.
Yeah.
No, but yeah,
All right, Colton,
I got no chance at the end of the day.
Well, that's all we got. We appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. So if you haven't already done so, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. As always, thank you so much for listening. We look forward to having you back for our next episode of the AstrosFuture podcast, covering your Astros in the minor league system.